Local, trusted. This is News 3 at 10 on KBTX.
Today continues to be this first alert weather day as we are still finding thunderstorm activity getting up and going and pulling into our northernmost counties. Now this cell pushing into Leon County right now does have a severe thunderstorm warning on it until 10:45 p.m. this evening. That does include Centerville in there as this storm takes a southward track just to the west of I-45 at about 30 miles per hour. That's where it's moving south at. This was warned for hail estimated by the radar to be about a quarter size, so that's about an inch across, and strong damaging wind gusts of about 60 miles per hour as well. There's a look at that hail core there trying to push closer and closer to Highway 79 to the west of Buffalo and Centerville. We've started to see some of our severe thunderstorm watches get pulled out, but the rest of us left in that until now midnight tonight. That's why we're going to continue this first alert weather day until sunrise on our Monday morning, as we could still find a couple more isolated thunderstorms before that sun does come up. One quick note before we get on with the rest of the show. Today is June 1st. That means first day of hurricane season. We'll also be keeping you updated on that, though. No tropical activity at this time.
Well, 6 people are injured following an attack on a pro-Israeli peace walk in downtown Boulder, Colorado today. Christian Benavidez reports on what the FBI is calling a targeted terror attack.
The attack happened early Sunday afternoon in front of the county courthouse in downtown Boulder, where a march was taking place to raise awareness of Israeli hostages still being held in Gaza.
The initial callers indicated that there was a man with a weapon and that people were being set on fire.
According to Boulder police, multiple people were injured in the attack. Those injuries ranged from minor to serious.
When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. This was a beautiful Sunday afternoon in downtown Boulder on Pearl Street, and this act is unacceptable.
Witnesses were shaken.
I came out, it was chaos. People were writhing on the ground. It was traumatic to watch.
We had seen burn marks on the ground. There were Israeli protester flags on the ground, and we saw a couple people getting wheeled out on carts.
Members of the Jewish community in Colorado have condemned the attack, while FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media it was a targeted terror attack. At a late-night press conference, the FBI identified the suspect as Mohammed Solomon.
This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell "Free Palestine" during the attack.
Police say it is not known if he acted alone or as part of a larger network. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
Boulder Jewish community released a statement saying in part, when events like this enter our own community, we are shaken. Our hope is that we come together for one another.
He was more than a sheriff to me. Gene was a friend, and he was a brother.
I think the legacy he has is that of a great lawman, and I think he'd be proud of that.
Tonight, law enforcement and the community are remembering Burleson Sheriff Gene Hermes. He died this week after a battle with cancer. The lawman spent more than 20 years serving the people of Burleson and Lee counties. Donnie Tuggle sat down with 2 men who served beside him.
2 men who worked closely with Sheriff Gene Hermes are remembering him not just as a lawman, but as a steady, faithful presence who never stopped showing up, even in his final days. Everything appears unchanged at the Burleson County Sheriff's Office. His name on the building, his space out front. But those who stood beside Sheriff Gene Hermes says nothing feels the same without the man who served with faith and quiet resolve. Chief Deputy Bill Rios says even while battling cancer, the sheriff never stopped leading.
He stayed abreast of everything that was going on here at the sheriff's office. I never made a decision without consulting him. He may not have been here at the office, but he was always on the phone. I spoke with him several times every day.
John Pollock, who served as the sheriff's first chief deputy, says his commitment reached far beyond the badge.
Gene wore multiple hats, was always taking care of his cows, taking care of land, taking care of his relatives, just anything. Gene would give you the shirt off of his back And Gene was always available to the public.
Pollock says they shared a bond and their final conversation said it all.
And before I left his room, I told him, Gene, I love you. And he said, John, I love you too. And those are the last words that we spoke to each other.
Even now, Rio says the sheriff is still leading through the example he leaves behind.
He said, Bill, he goes, make sure you're doing things right, legal, and ethical, and you won't go wrong in this job. And he said he got that from Sheriff Stroud, and I'm proud to carry those words from him now.
Funeral arrangements for Sheriff Hermes have not yet been finalized. In studio, Donnie Tuggle, News 3.
Well, we have an update on a fatal accident that happened yesterday in North Zulch. According to the Department of Public Safety, the accident happened at 4:45 p.m. on Highway 21 in Madison County, east of North Zulch. 20-year-old Elizabeth Sandoval of Bryan had pulled into the center median when her car was having mechanical issues. DPS says a distracted driver in a 2008 Chevy Silverado struck Sandoval from behind. Sandoval did not survive the crash and was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the truck was taken to a hospital with minor injuries. In the meantime, Bryan ISD is meeting tomorrow at noon where they will discuss a strategic plan and bond steering update. There will also be discussions to hire a director of transportation and hire a new principal of Johnson Elementary. And legislatures gave final approval for a bill that would allow parents and school boards to have a say in what books are carried in public school libraries. Senate Bill 13 gives school boards a final say over what materials are allowed. It also creates a framework for book removal based on complaints. More than 500 books were banned in Texas schools during the 2023-2024 school year. Senate Bill 13 also allows parents to submit a list of books their child specifically is not allowed to check out. And Texas might further cement its role in enforcing immigration laws under a bill the state legislature sent to the governor today. It would require most sheriffs to cooperate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Governor Greg Abbott has signaled support for such an idea, and President Donald Trump endorsed the proposed law on Friday as state lawmakers worked on the latest compromise. Over in Washington, senators are returning to Capitol Hill where they're going to tackle President Trump's spending bill dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill. Jen Sullivan has more.
Lawmakers return to Capitol Hill this week, and senators will be busy taking on President Donald Trump's ambitious spending bill that's being called the Big Beautiful Bill.
The president is very proud of the One Big Beautiful Bill, and he wants to see it pass. He wants the Senate to get to work on it and send it to his desk as quickly as possible.
The sweeping legislation slashes taxes and federal spending. It narrowly passed the Republican-led House last month, Democrats voting against it.
This bill actually hurts everyday Americans in order to reward billionaires.
The bill that passed the House makes cuts to programs like SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which provides food stamps for roughly 42 million Americans. It also would require Medicaid recipients ages 19 to 64 to work, volunteer, go to school, or participate in a job training program at least 80 hours a month to obtain or maintain coverage.
This Republican budget bill is an absolute disaster for the country, in particular for middle class and poor people.
Republicans are hoping the bill will help cover some of the country's massive deficit. The Congressional Budget Office says that over 8 years, the legislation would add another $3.8 trillion to the already huge U.S. debt. The Trump administration says that isn't true.
It doesn't increase the deficit or hurt the debt. In fact, it lowers it by $1.4 trillion.
President Trump has said he would like the legislation to clear the Senate by July 4th, but that may be an optimistic timeline. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Well, the ACLU has requested a federal appeals court to block the Trump administration from using the Aliens Enemies Act to deport migrants. The Aliens Enemies Act gives a president broad power to deport undocumented immigrants in times of war or when an enemy attempts an invasion. Earlier this month, the Supreme Court blocked the Trump administration from moving forward with the deportations under the 1798 law for a group of immigrants in northern Texas. The ACLU argued the law is for war between nations and the government already has tools to address migration. Coming up after the break, see what some are doing to prepare for summer hunger and where you can donate. Plus, later in sports, an Aggie Pro posts a top 10 finish at the U.S. Open.
We're continuing to watch live radar as strong thunderstorms continue for the evening. I'll get you the latest coming up in your First Alert forecast.
Closed captioning on News 3 is sponsored by Superior Air Repair.
Get your AC unit checked before the summer heat. Call Superior Air Repair today.
You're watching News 3 at 10 on KBTX.
Well, the 6th annual KBTX Summer Hunger Food Drive begins tomorrow. Throughout the month of June, we'll be collecting food donations at locations around Bryan College Station for the Brazos Valley Food Bank. The food bank will give the items to partner agencies who directly distribute the food to our neighbors in need. News 3's Carla Castillo has more on the efforts from one of their partners, the Brazos Church Pantry.
It's Thursday morning. That means it's busy at the Brazos Church Pantry.
There's such a need for families to be able to obtain food.
Volunteers gather 6 times a week in this downtown Bryan location to help feed our hungry neighbors. Andrea Derrig has been volunteering at the pantry for about 20 years. She has noticed the increased need.
We serve about 400 families a week, and so which represents a lot of people within the families too.
The pantry partners with the Brazos Valley Food Bank to provide much needed items to community members.
The other great thing about them is they deliver, and so the amount of pounds of food that we give out each week, it'd be impossible for us to go and just pick it up and bring it here.
Teaming up with the food bank means they can give out things like canned goods, produce, and meat. Derrig says clients really appreciate all they receive.
You don't even realize what the need is until you come to a place like this and you talk to people, and these are people that make $10 an hour, and that's not very much per week, and they work hard. But they just don't have enough.
She was glad to hear about the Summer Hunger Food Drive because
this summer months, the amount of food that the Brazos Valley Food Bank receives and therefore can pass on to us declines because of the federal year end. And then also there's some programs that have been cut. And so this summer we're expecting shortages of food. And so it's very important for people to donate.
There are 6 locations in BCS where you can drop off your donations. Pardowski Law Firm will be accepting donations tomorrow from 4:30 to 6 p.m. On Tuesday, June 3rd, Aggieland Outfitters 4 to 6 p.m. And Wednesday, June 4th, Aggieland Roofing will be taking donations from 4 to 6:30 p.m. For a full list of our times and locations, visit our website at kbtx.com. And the Waco Police Department gave an update on their canine officer, Andor, who was shot on Wednesday night. According to Waco PD, Andor has been placed in a cast to keep his leg from moving while he awaits further treatment. His blood work has been, quote, perfect, and he is scheduled to have surgery tomorrow to repair his severely injured shoulder. The next goal is to get him home once he is recovered from that procedure. Stick around because Stevie will have a full look at your full weather forecast right after the break.
The following rules cover contests conducted by KBTX Media, but may be superseded by separate rules for specific contests. No purchase necessary. 1 winner per household per contest. Due to internet streaming delays, online viewers of station programming may not be able to participate in on-air contests. Prizes must be claimed during regular business hours at our studios and are awarded pending verification of eligibility. Prizes are non-transferable and cannot be exchanged or redeemed for cash. Decisions of KBTX are final. We reserve the right to substitute a prize of equivalent value if the prize or any part of the prize becomes unavailable. Winners must present valid government-issued photo ID and information required for tax purposes. Winners or their parent or guardian, if winner is a minor, must claim prizes in person within 30 days of winning. Winners must comply with all rules, sign and return all liability and publicity releases or forfeit prize, and are solely responsible for all taxes. For complete official rules, visit our studio or webpage at www.kbtx.com. First Alert Weather on KBTX News 3 is sponsored by American Momentum Bank. Bank on the strength of momentum.
As we continue this First Alert Weather Day, still keeping a very close eye out there on First Alert radar and this thunderstorm that continues on this southward track at about 30 miles per hour, now fully into Leon County. We have now also had a severe thunderstorm warning issued downstream of that bulk of activity for Madison County. Now, the reason why this was severe thunderstorm warned in the first place was mostly for that hail concern. We could see a couple minutes ago that hail core, those purples you see there, as it entered Leon County a little bit more together, a little bit more organized. Now that it's started to weaken, as we've already seen some thunderstorms today take a pretty similar path. That means that those prior thunderstorms were able to suck up some of that storm fuel, now leaving this one behind to fend for itself just a little bit. So that's why that's now on this weakening trend, and we will try to watch it continue to weaken through the next hour or so. That hail core, if it is able to continue on that southward track at all, look, it's already starting to dissipate, does look to fall to the west of Madisonville. Currently in Bryan College Station, not a concern, though as that does continue on the southward track, we will be monitoring it very closely. Forecast radar for the rest of your Sunday night into Monday morning, still trying to bring a couple more isolated thunderstorms through, especially to the east of the Brazos Valley and east of I-45 as a whole. That's where we haven't seen quite as much activity so far today, which lends me to believe that some of those could happen. We still have some storm fuel over there, but as we get closer and closer to sunrise on your Monday morning, those will start to dissipate and will calm down that storm potential, therefore allowing us to fully wrap up that first alert weather day right around sunrise on your Monday morning. So then, from now until then, this is what we could find. All severe weather risks still possible, but that tornado threat even lower now that that sun is set. We have less ingredients to work with to help these thunderstorms get on the stronger side, but strong damaging wind gusts and that hail concern that we're currently seeing with that Leon County storm is still possible throughout the rest of the overnight, with some quick, heavy downpours of rain possible as well. That's why the Storm Prediction Center still holds us in this 2 out of 5 outlook with that hatched risk or higher risk for hail until 7 a.m. on our Monday morning, but most of us won't find rain tonight. In fact, those thunderstorms are going to stay very isolated. The rest of us just treated to a pretty average night for this time of year. Lows in the upper 60s to low 70s. Also possible that we find some fog out there to start off our Monday morning. Good idea to give yourself some extra time out the door as visibilities and localized spots might get closer to about a half of a mile due to a lot of moisture that we still have in our atmosphere. Patchy fog will clear up through the morning, lending way to a lot of sunshine. Still going to keep a 10% chance of rain on through the early afternoon. That will just be a couple splash and dash showers. We're not looking at severe weather potential on your Monday. Instead, just a very warm and muggy afternoon. That's as a high pressure system runs by us, and this ridge of high pressure cranks up our temperatures going into the first full week of June. Behind that, southerly and southeasterly winds cranking up the humidity too. So it's going to be a hot week out there. Temperatures in the 90s, not record breaking, mostly because records this week were previously set up in the triple digits. So thankfully not looking to make it there, but our feels like temperatures sure will. So make sure that you are practicing heat safety as we go through the upcoming week. For the rest of tonight, we'll continue to keep you updated around the clock with that storm potential. Also have an article up over at KBTX.com regarding that severe thunderstorm watch if you'd like to check that out. Other than that, keeping things hot and muggy all week long.
Coming up next in sports, there was an upset in the Austin Regional, plus 23 track and field athletes punched their ticket to Oregon this weekend.
The KBTX News 3 First Alert Radar, powered by BTU. Sports is presented by Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee.
This weekend, E.B. Cushing Stadium was home to the NCAA West Regional Track Competition, where 100 schools competed for their spots in Eugene in a chance at an NCAA Outdoor Championship. The number 2 women and number 4 men both punched tickets each to the NCAA Outdoor Championships in Eugene at the iconic Hayward Field. The Aggie men punched 12 tickets on day 3 of the West first round. In total, the Maroon and White will send 11 individuals in both relays to Oregon, while the women will send a team of 8 individuals in 2 relay teams for their 8 event qualifications.
The feeling is unmatched. I know our coach has a big smile on his face, especially because it's rare you see a smile on his face. So I know like the feeling is crazy right now. I don't even know how to explain it.
I mean, seriously, it's so awesome. It's great to travel up there with my team and get to go kick it in Eugene for a couple days. I mean, like this is going to be awesome. This is the fun part. Got the work in, get to fly over there, get to do our best and have fun doing it.
It's great. It's a really good team. I really believe that we have the willpower
just the team to win nationals.
The Aggies will conclude the 2024-2025 season at Hayward Field for the NCAA Outdoor Championships from June 11th to the 14th. Roadrunners looking to take down Texas again today in an elimination game for the Longhorns. Bottom of the first, Norris McClure, he knows it right away. That's a 2-shot over the right field wall. UTSA strikes first, 2-0. Bases loaded in the bottom of the third. Ty Hodge lines a bases clearing double to left center. Roadrunners extend their lead 6-0. In the top of the ninth inning, Max Ballou crushes a 2-run home run deep to right field for the Longhorns. They're within 3 runs, 7-4. But the Roadrunners will be ones packing their bags, heading to their first ever Super Regional, 7-4 the final. Some other scores from regionals today. Number 1 Vanderbilt was upset by Wright State 5-4. Georgia also eliminated 11-9 by Oklahoma State. Kentucky knocked off number 11 Clemson, but then got eliminated by WVU 13-12 tonight. And Ole Miss held off Georgia Tech 11-9. In OKC for the Women's College World Series, that is, Tennessee eliminated UCLA 5-4 in 9 innings. Then in the later game, Oregon fell to number 2 Oklahoma 4-1. In her first U.S. Open as a professional, Aggie Haley Cooper had a fantastic finish today in round 4. The Aggie shot a round low of 70 today and finished at 3 under overall and tied for 7th.
It's just an honor to be able to play in the U.S. Open, and then to finish the way that I finished, it was like really emotional. It's just an honor, I think, and I was hoping to just have a good weekend when I made the cut, and to hopefully get a top 10 is awesome, life-changing, really cool. So.
With that top 10 finish, Haley is automatically qualified for next year's U.S. Women's Open. In the big leagues today, Houston shut out Tampa Bay 1-0. The Rays did win the series, though, 4-3. Then up in Arlington, the Rangers clinched their series against the Cardinals 8-1 to move up to 29-31 on the season. We're going to have more for you after the break, but first, a quick look outside from our Live Eye Network.
Take a look. The road is washed out.
The all-new local news live streaming app. Search LNL. Always streaming, always free.
Well, a strong geomagnetic storm is expected to trigger auroras, potentially making them visible to the naked eye in the northernmost areas of Texas tonight. While you might not be able to see them with your naked eye down here, your cell phone cameras might have better luck picking them up on their cameras.
It's so cool. It's this geomagnetic storm, like you said, and a couple months ago we were able to see them with our cameras, but this is another look, another shot at it. Right now, clear skies in Bryan College Station, so try and get outside.
We're gonna know what we're doing.
Yes, in about 5 minutes we'll be out there. On about an hour on either side of midnight, that's going to be the best time to see them. So if the skies are clear near you, try to do that. But if you're in our eastern counties, we're looking at thunderstorms out there. Try to get you one last look at First Alert Radar very, very quickly. A couple severe thunderstorm warnings out for Leon and Madison County. The storm is starting to fall apart, but still watching it very closely. As this First Alert weather day, we're going to just have it continue on until sunrise on your Monday morning. A couple more strong storms possible before this night is said and done. After that, persistent rain chances do continue, but they stay low. Maybe some thunderstorms Wednesday, but after that, just hot and humid, y'all.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Stevie, and thank you, Morgan, and thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.